friends. So this is a continuation of last week's video. In last week's video, I talked about the first quarter and all of the goals that I set for the first quarter of the year, and ones that I succeeded in, ones that I struggled in. And this video is about the goals that I'm setting for this next quarter, or for spring, and kind of the direction that I'm moving into. And this is just kind of a lighthearted video. Obviously not everyone has to make quarterly goals, and some years I will, some years I won't, but hopefully this is an inspiring video for you to sit down and think about some things that you want to shoot for in your life, short term and not just long term. That way it's a little bit more doable and less overwhelming. So all that being said, let's just jump right into the video where we left off. So this next quarter is going to be a little bit less focused on the finance side of things. Like, I still have a financial goal. I want to be able to save $1,000 a month. That's kind of my goal for April to July, is I want to try and save up at least $1,000 extra each month and have that into savings that's not touched. And then on top of that, I want to be able to furnish my new place that I'm moving into in the next couple of months. I want to be able to furnish it as affordably as possible, and everything in cash. I'm not doing anything in debt. I'm not taking out any loans on anything. I'm not doing anything that is outside of my means. I want to be able to buy everything in cash affordably as much as possible. So that's kind of my goal. And that's like another big goal, is moving into my new place. That's going to be a huge thing. Just getting the cottage done and finished and moving into the cottage this quarter. That's going to be my main goal. That's my main focus, is like, what can I do in my life to make that happen smoothly and get into the cottage and get the cottage finished. And that'll also probably affect my side jobs a little bit too. Like, I probably won't be able to do as much extra work because I really want to make the time to be able to help as much as possible finishing that cottage. I have been having so much fun learning how to use power tools and understanding the process of building things a little bit more. I'm such a novice when it comes to things like that, but I really want to learn. So recently, even just using a drill and a saw, those are the two power tools that I've been focusing on the most right now, that I've been able to practice with the most. And it's been so fun. It's been so amazing. My family's been teaching me, and it's such a great way for me to learn and for me to practice, and they need the help. And so I am just really excited to be able to learn and kind of focus on that in this next quarter, is like learning power tools, learning building sort of things, and getting the cottage finished in the next couple months, and then moving into the cottage. That's going to be huge, because if you're new to this channel, that's kind of my next step in my life, is I'm going to be renting a cottage that is on my family's property that will eventually be for like my grandparents. It's just going to be a temporary place for me for the time, but it'll be hopefully good because they'll be able to make some extra income off of my rent, and I'll still be able to save money and live by myself for the first time in my life, because I've always had a roommate. So I'm really excited about that. Learning more about gardening is another huge goal for this quarter, because I've gardened for the last 5 years and I've been around gardening my whole life, but I really want to start feeling like I know what I'm doing, and I really just want to understand more about how to garden the right way. So I'm really excited about that. It'll be fun because this will be the first year that I'll have more space for a garden. I've always just done my gardening in little smart pots, and it's gonna be so fun to have enough room to actually have a larger garden. So I'm so excited about that. The next goal that I have, I really want to buy a freeze dryer. That's like something I would really love to buy. It's expensive, but once I have the space for it, once I move into the cottage, I really think that that would be such a good purchase for me. So that's kind of a goal, is I want to buy a freeze dryer and I want to learn how to use it. I want to learn how to be efficient with it and save money by preserving my food, especially food that I grow. That's huge. I'm super excited about the thought about that. I think that'll be so fun. I wrote down taking all of my continuing education classes for my massage license, and so that'll also include renewing my license in the next couple months. It always feels like such a relief to have that behind me and finished. And then the last thing that I wrote on my list of goals for this next quarter is kind of more of a theme, I guess. I listened to a really interesting podcast the other day that talks about the difference between the maker and the manager mindset. And this basically just meaning like we all have a maker and a manager side of our brain, and the manager side is kind of more focused on organization, getting things done, getting things accomplished, a little bit more like methodical and structured. And I feel like that is the mindset that I've had to be in the last quarter, and part of this next quarter is kind of more of like the methodical of like, okay, like I have to move, I have to get rid of my stuff, I have to do this in a way that makes sense with the schedule. And it's been much more of a manager mindset, and I really want to start that shift between manager mindset into a maker mindset. And that just means for me shifting from the more like structured, scheduled, making a plan, into a creative side of my brain, that I'm thinking of making things, I'm thinking of being creative, and especially thinking about moving into the cottage and getting to decorate a new place and make it feel like home, make it feel cozy and welcoming, and make it feel like me. That's something that I've missed so much since I moved into the trailer. I've really missed being in a space that feels like the colors and the stuff that's around me feels like me and that makes me feel creative and inspired. And it's just hard to do that when you're surrounded by things that aren't yours. So that's something that I really want to start opening my imagination to and letting myself be creative. And I really want to step up my skills with photography and filming for this channel and my writing again. And I just want to start to transfer into more of that maker mindset and let myself be creative. So this was a very long-winded video, but I hope that it was something that was helpful for you guys and is inspiring for you to start just writing down some achievable goals that don't have to be anything crazy or wild, but that can be totally doable, and we can just take those baby steps together and we can work towards accomplishing those goals together. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.